one of my habits for feeling more empowered in who I am is to be the non-judgmental witness of the parts of myself that have more to reveal.
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers.
Last night, I was sitting in a restaurant with my daughter and my husband, who are here with me in New York to celebrate book launch day. And my daughter looked at me and said, "Do you realize how profound today was?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, today you went to the CBS Broadcast Center, to your old studio where Dr. Oz is now taping.
Mm-hmm.
And you went there and taped an entire show on the High Five Habit, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And the place where your last chapter ended is the same place where the new one is beginning."
Wise daughter.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a day of what is to come. This is your after day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I'm happy to be with you in this moment.
Well, I think given your ability to channel and your your power in holding space, a spiritual space, there is no question that you would be the one I'd be doing the podcast interview that I'm doing today with.
The day of interview.
Yeah, the day of interview.
The day of your new life.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
I really, I want to acknowledge so much of what you just said, because those moments where we feel anxiety, sometimes it's anxiety, but it's actually masked as this really serious excitement for what's to come.
Yeah. And I notice for myself, there is so much resistance to wanting to surrender to the excitement and to the belief that it's all unfolding. And I notice, even as like one thing after another happens today, like everything that I set an intention to do, everything that I've worked tirelessly to have happen, it's all starting to unfold. And I still feel that fear inside me around letting go and believing that it's actually happening.
So you have the fear of letting go and believing that this is truly unfolding for you.
Yeah.
Oh, Mel, let's kick that.
I agree. And I'm high-fiving it out of my system. It's
Yeah.
unworthiness, dude. That's what it is.
It is.
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Okay. I'm not worthy of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm not even going to allow myself to believe that this truly is happening. Like, it's magical. Like we are about to hit number 1 on Amazon in the world. We are number 1 in Canada. And it's not even about the number ones. For me, this book is about something so much bigger. It is about giving people the ability to flip a switch inside themselves and let the light back in. And that's why it's spreading. Like the book is just a vehicle for somebody to look themselves in the mirror and realize just how long they have been either ignoring themselves or criticizing themselves or betting against themselves or betraying themselves. And the process of coming back home to yourself is not only amazing, but it does make you feel like, wow, I can't believe how long I have been just unwilling to support myself, to love myself, to believe in myself, to believe that people want to help me, to ask for support, how long I went at it alone.
Yeah.
How long I would look at somebody like you and be like, she's got the coolest friends. I'm not in their club. She's way smarter than me. Like literally.
Right.
A narrative that is, by the way, keeping me from reaching out and going, we should hang out sometime.
Right. Totally.
The stories that we tell ourselves that isolate us from the things that we want.
Yeah.
It's just confounding.
Well, one of my habits for feeling more empowered in who I am is to be the non-judgmental witness of the parts of myself that have more to reveal. And I always believe that when we notice those feelings of unworthiness or triggers or any part of us that wants to be protective, that it's really a beautiful moment to just decide that there's more that we can do to shine the crystal of who we are. And so I really appreciate you here standing in the truth of this book and living and walking your talk, and then in the same breath saying, yeah, and I'm still feeling some unworthiness.
Totally.
Beautiful.
Totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I realize that some of the things that I've wanted the most in my life, whether it's community or collaborating with people, or I have literally held myself back from reaching out to people or for like really creating relationships. And I can see it in friendships too.
Yeah.
That I'm so quick to just take my like stuff and go into the corner and be like, okay. It's literally this moment. I remember being in I must have been a sophomore in high school, and I was on the varsity tennis team. And I remember the upperclassmen having a sleepover, and there were a bunch of us who were sophomores, and I was the one sophomore who was not invited. And it just kind of hit that button and that neuropathway programming that was literally like you've done something wrong.
Totally.
And I feel like for a long time, that is the reality that I have allowed myself to live in. And when you tell yourself that kind of story, as you talk about all the time in your work, it starts to create its own reality. And giving yourself permission to believe that you are not only worthy, but that you also deserve to be loved and to be supported and to be yourself, your full self. And so honestly, like you also, I'll say one other thing. You also remarked when I walked in at how amazing I look.
You look really good.
Yeah.
You look really good.
And I'm going to be 53 this year. And Lewis House said the same thing. Trent Shelton said the same thing. Jay Shetty said the same thing when I saw him a couple days ago, all friends of ours. And what I've realized is that what you're seeing is the light.
Mm-hmm.
And the high five habit, I am not kidding, practicing this for more than a year now. Every morning, starting by staring at the woman I see in the mirror, being with her for a minute, asking myself, what does she need from me? And then sealing it with this high five before I walk into my day. It has literally silenced that critic. Like there are moments that I feel my humanity. There are moments like this that I feel like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Are all these people like you really showing up? Is the world showing up? Are people really getting this as the messages are rolling in from people around the world about the impact of this thing?
Right.
And so I have moments where I'm overwhelmed, but after a year of doing this, I actually don't even have to anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you don't even feel it's sort of ingrained.
It's ingrained. When I
that.
see myself in the mirror, it doesn't even occur to me
Right.
to criticize myself.
Right.
Because I don't even see a face or a body. I see a soul.
Beautiful. So the habit, it's looking in the mirror and you're saying, what do you need right now?
Well, the habit's like even cooler than that because you don't even have to say anything. See, every morning when you're standing in the bathroom with this person in the mirror, you drag your entire past in the bathroom with you. And if you have experienced trauma or abuse or neglect or abandonment or tremendous pain or anything that's been done to you, too many of you look at that and you think it's evidence that proves that you're damaged or unworthy or any of that stuff. And so you see a human being in a mirror that doesn't deserve a high five because of those things.
You think you're that was my trauma storyline for decades.
Yeah. And so if you think you're a piece of why on earth would you raise your hand and high five that person? And
but you also, how could you even relate to that person? Because you've become so disassociated from that person.
Yes.
Right.
And, you know, this aligns with everything you say. If you can drag yourself into a bathroom in spite of all that stuff that you've survived, and you're still breathing and you're still trying to do a little bit better, you not only deserve a high five, you need one to heal.
Right.
And one of the reasons why the high five works, and you don't have to say you can stand there and say, and think I'm a and you can stand there and feel the resistance to this. As you start to raise your hand, the science takes over and does all the work for you. And here's what happens. So when you give somebody a high five, Gabby, or you've received one, what does the gesture itself communicate to you?
Connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Connection. It can say, I believe in you. Joy. I celebrate you. I love you. I see you. Keep going. You got this. It is literally a way to tell another human being that you have their back, that you believe in them, that you're encouraging them. You have never high-fived somebody in your life and thought, I hate you. I hope you lose. I'm rooting against you. And so when you go to raise your hand to your own reflection, even if you think you're your mind goes quiet. And all of the programming associated with high-fiving other people gets married to your own reflection.
Yeah.
Through the physical action of high-fiving yourself, you are interrupting old patterns of identity and thinking and reprogramming all the new ones based on what a high five means.
If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.